Alright, welcome everyone back to another episode where I'm going to be doing some 3-minute blitz. I haven't done this for quite a while, so we'll see how this goes. And already I come up against a 1980 rated. Wow. Okay, he plays the Sicilian. So let's play main line, gain some space in the center, and I guess we'll pin this immediately, just to put a little bit more pressure on. Here I'm thinking something like this can happen. So let's do it. Let's take here and then just push e5. I have dropped off quite a bit in rating. I haven't really played too much of this. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I've played this before, but I can't remember what the follow-up is or the best way to go about doing this. Because the problem comes about is after something like taking the knight, he actually can take this knight and recapture. And then after pawn takes, he can then take here. Actually, I think it's okay to take the knight here. If he takes straight away, it's actually not too bad. I can probably try and develop the bishop and castle quickly, but he is eyeing down on the g2 square, so probably have to defend in some other way. If something like this, I think I can recapture, and if he chooses to take this, I can play bishop back. But yeah, he played the same idea as what I suggested at the start. And here I should be able to just recapture this pawn. Or actually win the pawn rather. He does have some compensation for being the pawn down, but maybe I want to try and destroy that compensation by getting a queen trade and undoubling my pawns in the center. Okay, so he decides to play rook g8. That's pretty solid idea that he has. I really want him to take this, but he's probably not going to. And once I move my bishop out of the way, he can just take the g2 pawn. So there are problems with this position for sure. Maybe I want to try and castle and go for some other plays down the d file, because now he can't castle the king side. Let's try it. Let's castling here does look very risky because of this open file that can just look down against my king. I shouldn't be spending too much time. Let's go for a castle. If queen check, I can maybe either drop my queen back or do something else. Okay, here I should be able to hop in with my queen and try and do something. Attack this pawn. If bishop here, then I may be able to go for some other things. Let's get this bishop to try and hop into the light squares. Double up my rooks. If he takes this pawn, I'm just going to go straight into b7. If rook here, I should be able to take and get away with it, hopefully. Because either my queen, oh sorry, my rook can come in to defend. And if there are some ideas of queen g5 checks. Although this is looking like a not so great position. I am holding on though. If I recapture this pawn, it's closer than it seems. But there are a few problems with my position. I don't expect to win this. This is a very high rated player. He's good at rapid as well, so and rapid is a lot more difficult. Okay, so I think I recapture here. Try and regain the pawn, regain the material, and go for this idea, so that way there's always my queen can always come in and try and attack the king. And if not, then I can just take back and then opening up this pin idea. Maybe potential taking the pawn with check. Maybe it was better to take this pawn actually and attack the rook a second time. Okay, he's spending a lot of time on this position. Maybe he's thinking of something like queen g5 ideas. Okay, so he went for this. Should be able to take fairly safely. Maybe I just want to drop my queen back. Maybe I want to play something like this. Did he miss this? Maybe he did. Let's do it. Queen for two rooks is probably winning in this position, so if I can afford to do it, then that's really good. Okay, king up. I need to play a little faster now. Let's go start pushing these pawns. He can't take this because my queen covers it. He can take that though, but then I'll push straight away. Okay, I can take with check. Let's try and get the pawn push in. Let's pin the... Oh, let's play this, I guess. If he takes here, I can go for a push pawn. At this rate, I'm just trying my best to finish. I'm completely losing in this position at this point. Ah, that was very, very lucky. A very lucky win on time. I do not probably deserve that. Although I did play quite well up until the point where I was a queen for two rooks. At this point here, I definitely think it is probably a winning position for me. I prefer the queen for two rooks. My queen is nicely placed. His king is fairly open, so there are always check ideas. And this idea sort of makes sense. Maybe I wanted to try and defend this pawn by playing something like this and then dropping my queen back one. That's probably a better idea to do. Covers all four pawns if the pawn was here. This one, this one, this one, and my king covers this one, and then I can start pushing this one as well. But I had a similar idea where I try and win a few things. Pin here. Maybe it was best to just go for a continuous check at this point. And maybe instead of allowing him to win all these pawns, I can immediately play something like king here, forcing him to take once, and then I can go for a push pawn and then check and then push pawn again or something. Some ideas like that. But I gave him all those pawns, so he's completely winning in this position. Two rooks and four pawns for, after this, just a queen, completely winning. But somehow I managed to get him on time, even after he had a free queen. I played queen back as a pre-move, and he could just take it for free. What a lucky game. Okay, 1980 taken down. That's pretty good. Alright, let's go into another one. That was 8 rating points. That's quite nice. Okay, let's play this idea. Already something slightly different where we see d6 blocking off the bishop straight away. Let's go for something like this. Something quite simple. I want to try and see if he'll keep this pin. And then if so, I'll probably just play bishop here. And do I want a castle kingside? Yeah, I want a castle kingside. Okay, so he's immediately coming in trying to take pressure of this knight here. This is already quite tough. Is there something I could try for something like this? Although it doesn't seem that great. Um, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for g4. It weakens my king position quite a bit, but it's a price that I must pay in order to try and get something going here. Get an attack on the king side maybe, and ensure that I don't lose to this idea. Despite the pawns still covering, it's better to have these pawns not doubled, I think, and sort of pushing forward maybe, then having these pawns doubled and my queen completely blocked, the bishop still lining up against them. So I think this is a necessary move. And he's thinking for quite a while in this one. Okay, so he took. I'll recapture. He has to drop the bishop back now. And it's looking like an okay position. Not a terrible position at all. I could be thinking of some takes, knight hop in ideas that could work quite well. I could also just push pawn and then prepare a second push again. The problem with push pawn is that he'll push pawn first and I'll have to drop my bishop away. But that's probably pretty good actually. Let's do it. My king is very unusually weak in this position. Because these pawns, if they ever get picked off, my king is just open. These rooks can come in and deal a lot of damage. Okay, here I'm thinking that I want to play something like this and then something like this. But the thing is, he can just castle queenside and he's actually really good in this position. Okay, let's do this move first. Move his bishop back onto the H file. And then maybe I just want to keep this structure here, keep it safe. But he's also eyeing down at this pawn as well, so he can probably take this. So maybe I want to actually try and go for a quick attack. The thing about this move is that he actually has queen check, and then after I have to recapture, his knight can capture, and then his bishop can capture here as well. Actually, that still should win me a pawn, I think. Let's do it. Let's try it. If queen check, it's actually fine for me. If not, then it's looking okay. It's not looking like a dead lost position, although I am down to 24 seconds and probably gonna lose this one. Okay, he didn't take for some reason. He wants to put pressure on this. Makes sense. Let's go for pawn push. Because if he recaptures here, I can then take this free piece. Okay, he didn't even recapture, so now I'm just up a piece. It's just a matter of whether or not I lose. Okay. He's playing very poorly. Don't know what he's doing here. He actually resigned. Wow. He thought I could win in 14 seconds? Probably could have, actually. Because after king here, I actually have a really nice knight check. And then king has to come up again, and he's getting mated in 2. Alright, that's another massive mistake made by my opponent, where I have able to take advantage of that and win the game. Okay, let's go for one more. Let's play Sicilian. I think I played white twice, maybe? I can't remember. Um, Let's play knight c6, and then if something like this, we can go for a strong central control. This usually does not seem that great. It allows me to play something like this, but probably want to just stack up on this piece somehow. This pawn, rather. So let's immediately play queen c7. I want to also maybe play something like this after pawn progressions. At the moment, I could just play this, and this bishop is sort of blocked off for quite a while. But that's not necessary until a little later on. I could also go for this idea, which is probably quite good, but I also want to open up and then maybe play my bishop out here. So let's keep my options open for now and play knight e7. Okay, he attacks that pawn, makes sense. But that can easily be defended by the bishop, so I can just hop my knight into here, attack this pawn, or put more pressure on that pawn rather. And then I can play something like d4, blocking this knight off completely, it can't drop back, and blocking this bishop off completely to this pawn as well. So now at this point, I want to try and just maybe either play bishop here in castle, or maybe I want to play something like this later on. Okay, yeah, let's castle. I was expecting this move instead of that one, but maybe this one is still possible. He wants to attack this a second time. Makes a lot of sense, I guess. Is there any tactics here that I could go for? Probably not. I was thinking something like this, trying to put pressure on this. However, he can just take, and then after queen takes, it doesn't look that great. It's giving away a pawn. Maybe I want to play something like this, try and hold on to the pawn. Um, this is tough. Let's try and keep hold of this pawn for a couple more moves. If bishop back here, then it should be okay to either play queen back or try and get this bishop into the play. Let's actually play rook here first, I think. Just keep control of this diagonal, or rather row. Okay, bishop trade here is, I think, quite good for me. I can then maybe drop back with my knight, maybe my queen rather. My queen can come over this way. Attack the knight and also keep defense on the c5 square. I have 36 seconds left, so I'll probably just be playing quite a bit faster. Let's just play something like this. Okay, let's try and trade off some pieces. He's winning this pawn no matter what. I'll try and push this pawn as well then. This one's probably gonna be a loss. We'll see what we can do. Knight check, maybe there's something here. Let's go for an idea. Could work, probably won't. Let's play this. King has to go back here, and then I'll play this, threatening checkmate in one. How does he defend it, actually? This is tough. I don't see a way that he can defend that easily. Is there a way? Rook here. Wasting one move. Maybe if rook here doesn't work, I just deliver checkmate. What a sequence, actually. That was very, very unusual for that to happen. He shouldn't have moved his knight into here because his knight covered the f2 square. But then once he moves his knight into here, trying to trade for the bishop, I can take with check and then move my bishop out of the way. Alright, let's see what happens. That should be checkmate in two. What a game. Okay. That was some really interesting stuff. I think I'll finish it there. Alright, so some three really nice games. One against a 1980, I think it was, where I luckily beat him on time. The other two, some interesting games for sure. The second one, I think my opponent just blundered really badly. This one, also a slight blunder, but also a really nice finish. Okay, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.